Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
It was Saturday, November 29, 2025. In Stockton, California, a happy birthday party was happening. About 100 to 150 family members and friends were at a banquet hall on Lucille Avenue. They were celebrating a young child's birthday. The hall was full of happy sounds, laughter, and music. Everyone was enjoying the special day together. Suddenly, around 5:50 in the evening, loud gunshots broke the peace. The happy celebration quickly turned into a scene of chaos and fear. People screamed and ran. The sounds of joy were replaced by shouts and terror. What was a joyful day became a city's nightmare in just a few moments. Emergency calls went to the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office. Police and ambulances rushed to the banquet hall. They found many people hurt. 15 people had gunshot wounds. 4 of these people died. 3 of the people who died were young children. They were 8, 9, and 14 years old. A 21-year-old person also died. Stockton Mayor Christina Fugazi talked about this sad event. She said families should be home, not at the hospital. Vice Mayor Jason Lee also shared his sadness, noting the violence at a child's party. The community was heartbroken. Even U.S. President Donald Trump's office offered help to the local officials. This terrible event shocked the entire city. 2. A terrible night. After the loud sounds, many urgent calls went to emergency services. Police cars and ambulances quickly rushed to the banquet hall. Their lights flashed red and blue in the dark evening. When first responders arrived, they saw a very sad and chaotic scene. The joyful event had turned into a terrible night. People were crying, some were hurt, and fear filled the air. Emergency workers quickly began to help everyone. They found that 15 people had suffered gunshot wounds. Many of the injured were in serious condition. One person was reported to be in critical condition at the hospital. Sadly, 4 people had lost their lives. This included 3 young children, aged 8, 9, and 14 years old. A 21-year-old adult also died that night. The tragic number of victims, especially the children, shocked everyone. Soon, the whole community of Stockton began to learn what happened. News spread quickly about the horrible event. Mayor Christina Fugazi made a public statement. She spoke about the deep sorrow felt by all. She said families should be together, not waiting at hospitals. Vice Mayor Jason Lee also shared his sadness, noting the violence happened during a child's birthday party. California Governor Gavin Newsom's office offered state support. U.S. President Donald Trump's office also contacted local officials, offering help for the investigation. The entire city was in shock, trying to understand this great loss. 3. Looking for the shooters. The police started their investigation right after the shooting. Officers from the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office worked quickly and intensely. They believed the attack was targeted, not random. This meant the shooters planned to hurt specific people at the party. It was not just a sudden, unplanned act of violence. Sheriff Patrick Withrow spoke to the public about the case. He said that investigators believed there was more than one shooter involved. The gunfire began inside the banquet hall, but it continued outside into the area around the building. This detail showed how widespread the attack was and made the search for answers even harder for police. The sheriff strongly asked the public for help. He said, "We need your help to find the people who did this terrible thing." Detectives needed any information people might have. They asked for videos, photos, or anything else that could help them understand what happened. People could call a special tip line or Crime Stoppers to share information safely. To encourage more people to share what they knew, a reward was offered. The Youth Peace and Justice Foundation first offered $5,000. Later, the city's mayor, Christina Fugazi, announced that the reward would be even bigger. It was increased to $25,000. This money was for information that would lead directly to the arrest and conviction of the shooters. Some arrests were made hours after the shooting, in a nearby area called Lewis Park. 5 people were taken in for different charges, including weapons and gang activity. Officers found 2 firearms with them. However, the Stockton Police Department quickly made it clear that these arrests were not directly connected to the banquet hall shooting. They were part of the police's regular work to stop gang activity in the city. So the main shooters from the party were still free, and police continued their search. The police were confident they would find the people responsible for the tragedy. But they kept asking the community for eyes and ears to help them. They knew public cooperation was the most important key to solving this very difficult and sad crime. 4. The sad community. The people of Stockton felt deep sadness and shock after the terrible shooting. The news of the birthday party attack broke many hearts in the city. It was a very hard and painful time for everyone. Families were grieving, and the whole community shared their sorrow. On Sunday, November 30, a large number of people came together. About 200 community members gathered for a candlelight vigil. They met near the place where the shooting happened, on Thornton Road. A group called Faith in the Valley helped organize this special gathering. Many people who came knew the victims or their families. The vigil was a way for the community to show their unity and support for each other in their grief. At the vigil, faith leaders from different churches spoke. They called for an end to the violence, saying words like, "Enough is enough." People prayed for those who were hurt and for the families of the 4 people who died. They placed beautiful flowers and lit many candles at a small memorial. It was a moment of shared reflection and comfort for a heartbroken city. Stockton's mayor, Christina Fugazi, spoke about the tragedy. She said that families should be together at home, not waiting in hospitals. Vice Mayor Jason Lee also shared his deep sadness about the event. especially since it happened at a child's birthday celebration. California Governor Gavin Newsom's office released a statement saying they would provide state support. The office of U.S. President Donald Trump also contacted local officials to offer assistance in the investigation. City leaders promised to find those responsible for the attack. District Attorney Ron Freitas made a public appeal, asking anyone with information to come forward. The Youth, Peace and Justice Foundation offered a reward of up to $5,000 for helpful information. Mayor Fugazi later announced that this reward would be increased to $25,000. These leaders showed their strong commitment to getting justice for the victims and their families. They urged people to contact the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers with any details. 5. Stockton's problems. Stockton, California has struggled with crime for a very long time. It has a history of high violence, often ranking among the most violent cities in the United States. Compared to the national average, Stockton's violent crime rate is over 200% higher. This means people in Stockton have faced a much greater chance of being a violent crime victim each year. These issues, including gang violence, poverty, and a lack of social support, have deeply affected the community. In 2024, the city saw a rise in serious crime. It recorded 54 homicides, a 20% increase from the 45 deaths in 2023. These figures showed the difficult challenges Stockton faced in its fight against gun violence. Such numbers brought sadness and worry to many residents. However, there was hope for a change in 2025. The first 6 months of that year brought promising news. Homicides in Stockton fell by 34% compared to the same period in 2024. This was a clear sign that local efforts, like the Stockton ceasefire program, were making a difference. Many believed the city was finally moving toward a safer future. But the tragic shooting on November 29, 2025, was a terrible setback. This event, where innocent lives were lost, suddenly stopped the positive trend. It showed that even when things improve, violent acts can happen quickly and destroy hope. The community had worked hard to build a safer environment, and this shooting made their efforts much harder. It was a painful reminder of Stockton's ongoing struggle with violence. 6. Gangs in the city. The city's mayor, Christina Fugazi, spoke about the shooting. She suggested that the terrible event might be connected to gangs. The police quickly started to explore this idea as a possible reason for the attack. They knew that gang violence often caused problems in Stockton. Police needed to find out if the shooters were part of any gangs. They also looked into whether the people targeted at the party had any gang connections. However, Sheriff Patrick Withrow said it was too early to be sure. He asked for patience as they gathered more facts. A few hours after the shooting, police made some arrests. Officers were working in the Lewis Park area, not far from the banquet hall. They stopped 5 people: Isaac Grosnover, Destiny Willis, Kevin Lee, Jovan Frank, and a 16-year-old male. These individuals were arrested for things like having illegal weapons and gang activity. Officers found 2 guns during their search. However, the police made it clear that they could not directly link these 5 people to the birthday party shooting. The arrests were part of normal police work to stop gang activity in the city. The police were conducting these operations regularly, so it was not yet confirmed if the arrested people were the ones who shot at the party. Finding the truth was still hard. Police faced a big challenge in their investigation: getting people to talk. Many witnesses at the party were scared. They feared that if they spoke to the police, bad things might happen to them or their families. In neighborhoods where gangs are active, people often do not trust the police or are too afraid of revenge to give information. Sheriff Withrow asked the public for help many times. He told everyone that the community needed to stand together against this violence. To encourage people to speak up, the city and other groups offered money rewards for information. This money was meant to help overcome people's fears and get them to share what they knew. The reward reached up to $25,000. Police hoped this would help them find the people responsible. 7. The police work hard. The police worked very hard to find the people responsible for the terrible shooting. They used many modern tools and methods to help their investigation. It was a big job, and every small clue mattered. Investigators spent many hours reviewing video footage from the area. The banquet hall was located near several other businesses, and many of these places had security cameras outside. Police asked the public and business owners to give them any videos they had. They hoped these recordings would show the shooters arriving at the party, the incident itself, or them leaving. Finding clear pictures of faces or cars was a key step to identify suspects. Police also carefully examined phone records and social media communications. If multiple shooters were involved, they likely talked to each other before or after the sad event. By getting legal access to phone calls and text messages and looking at social media activity, police could find links between people. This helped them understand who might be connected to the crime and how they planned it. This digital evidence was very important in building their case. Forensic evidence was another critical part of the puzzle. Ballistics testing was especially important. This test helps scientists match bullet casings found at the crime scene to the specific guns that fired them. Police had found 2 guns when they arrested 5 people for other gang-related crimes nearby, just hours after the shooting. However, at that time, they could not confirm if these were the actual guns used at the birthday party. Connecting the weapons directly to the shooting was a major goal for the investigators. Despite all these efforts, understanding the real reason or motive behind the attack remained a major challenge. Police believed it might be connected to gang activity, old conflicts, or a desire to show power. But the exact motive was hard to pin down. Many people who saw the shooting were afraid to tell the police what they knew. They feared for their own safety or the safety of their families if they spoke out. To help overcome this fear and encourage people to share information, the city offered a large money reward. Police stressed that help from the public was very important to catch the criminals and bring them to justice. 8. Remembering the children. The shooting at the birthday party was a very sad event for Stockton. 4 people died, and 3 of them were children. These children were 8, 9, and 14 years old. They were at a party, a happy time that suddenly turned to fear. Their innocent lives were taken too soon, and their deaths touched many hearts. People wondered how such a terrible thing could happen to children simply enjoying a special day. This terrible violence showed the serious problem of guns in the community. It made people ask hard questions about safety. How can a city truly protect its children and families? How can communities stop such attacks? The mayor of Stockton and other leaders spoke strongly about the need for justice. They promised to work hard to find those responsible. Stockton had faced crime before, but this shooting was different. It hurt the feeling of safety for everyone, especially for families. It reminded everyone that gun violence can strike quickly, even at a child celebration. The tragedy deeply affected the city's spirit and its hope for a safer future. Many people came together to remember the innocent victims. They held candlelight vigils, prayed, and left flowers at a memorial. This helped the community grieve together. Leaders from different faiths spoke, asking for an end to the violence. California Governor Gavin Newsom released a statement about the horrific event. The office of U.S. President Donald Trump also offered assistance for the investigation. This showed that many cared about what happened. Stockton now faces a big challenge. The city must find a way to heal from this great loss. It needs to work hard to make sure such a tragedy does not happen again. This means finding new ways to stop violence, keep guns away from dangerous people, and support families. It means working towards a future where all children can grow up safe. What specific actions do you think communities should take to protect children from gun violence and help them heal after such events?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.